Can you predict the future? Well, neither can I, but I'm going to tell you my 3 predictions for the housing market in Seattle in 2022. Stay tuned. Hey there, if you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that button right now so that you can get updated when all of our newest videos and market reports come out. You can stay up to date on the Seattle real estate market. So you want to predict the future? Well, none of us can really do that. And if we did have a crystal ball, we would be a lot better at our jobs and a lot wealthier probably. But today we're going to talk about 3 things that I am predicting will happen in the Seattle real estate market in 2022. So the first prediction is probably no surprise to anyone. The Seattle market is going to remain very, very competitive. So with the shortage of homes that we have to sell and the high buyer demand, I believe that that is going to carry our market into a competitive state throughout the rest of 2022. It is going to remain very competitive, especially for single family homes, a little bit for townhomes and less so for condos, but stay tuned on that third one because we're going to talk about that as well later. So if you are a buyer going into 2022, be aware that you are going to have to compete and you're going to have to be ready and have a strategy in place so that you can win that home of your dreams. There's not going to be an easing of the market, in my opinion, in the next year. And that's for a couple of different reasons. You know, there's no homes to sell currently, there are low interest rates currently, and there's still a lot of people in Seattle who are looking for housing because it's more affordable than other major cities in the US, and we have great industry here, a lot of tech, so there are a lot of people looking to be here. We still see a ton of people coming up from places like California and moving into Seattle for that exact reason. It's more affordable than where they used to live. That's the number 1 prediction. Number 2 prediction is I believe that steadily over 2022, interest rates are going to start going back up. Now that is highly dependent upon coronavirus and what happens, because in order to stimulate the economy during 2020 and 2021, interest rates were low so that people had higher purchasing power and could stimulate the economy. Now, if coronavirus slowly goes away, which we hope it does, that will change a little bit and interest rates will continue to rise little by little, and people will be able to afford less of a home with higher interest rates. So for every time the interest rate increases, it means typically that people can afford less in their actual mortgage payment because they're paying higher interest that's replacing what they used to be able to pay in that mortgage payment for the home. So when the interest rates go up, it can soften the market a little bit. Now, I don't believe this will have a major impact on our market and soften it very much, but it will mean that possibly price points could come down and people may be less competitive with their bids if they are paying more in interest. So it's something to watch out for. Typically in our market, we don't see that happen until around the summertime. So we're talking about months like July and August when the market might slow down a little bit. And if you're a buyer, that's one of the best times to get into our market because you're still seeing a lot of great homes, but there's a little less competition. So I don't think that will impact the first half of the year, but definitely be aware of the interest rate and how that's impacting the second half of the year. The other thing about interest rates is that the loan limits are going up next year in 2022. So you have to be aware that those loan limits will allow people to buy higher priced homes because they'll have to have a lower down payment which is the limit, because they'll have to have a lower down payment and the limit of the size of the loan that they can get is going up. So they'll be able to afford more expensive homes. So just be aware that the interest rate may go up. That's number 2. And last but not least, number 3 is that I believe that the landscape of real estate will be changing a little bit in terms of what is happening with condos. So during the pandemic, condos really slowed down. They took a turn. No one wanted to live in communal spaces. They didn't want to share the elevator. They didn't want to be stuck inside in a condo that didn't have an outdoor space. And when they did go outdoors, they didn't want to share that space with their neighbors. As coronavirus slowly goes away, again, hopefully, we will see condos come back. And we already see people doing activities in higher density areas around the city. So we see people going back out, going to restaurants and shops and grocery stores more often. And so that will lead to a different type of lifestyle than what you might have if you are staying at home with a yard and space away from everyone. So I do believe that condos will continue to come back. We've already seen that trend start now in 2021, but I think as we get into 2022, you will see condos increase in value again, and you will see some bidding wars for really great condos. I believe this to be true. Also, if we do see some cleanup of the city, we will see that impact the condo sales even more. Not to mention that our transit is changing almost daily here in Seattle. We're adding the light rail. It's helping a lot to open up parts of the city that weren't open up before. So living in a condo and getting on the light rail, you have a lot more access to different neighborhoods than you might have before. So that will also impact the ability for people to live in a condo space and still get around and go see other parts of the city that they wouldn't have been able to see without that public transit. So that is my third prediction. So there you have it. Those are my 3 predictions for what's going to happen in the Seattle real estate market in 2022. Now, who knows if I'll be right? You know, these are just predictions, but it's something that I'm watching carefully and thinking about as we see the market evolve through the next year. I'd love to know what your predictions are, so comment below with things that you think might happen in the real estate market, and I'd love to hear about them and talk to you about them. If you have thoughts about buying or selling in 2022, let's talk. It's super important in our market to be prepared, whether you're a buyer or a seller, to have a great experience in your real estate transaction. So don't hesitate to reach out. You can always call, text, email, or direct message us, and we're here to help you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.